This is the Stanley Bailey number 4. And I'm about to sharpen this plane, not in this video, but I just want to explain to you the difference between the number 4 and that number 7 jointer. Now, the number 4 is a smoother. And because of that, we should sharpen this differently to the number 7. It's not just a case of having a sharp edge. Now, I find it a little bit frustrating. I understand why these are like the most popular plane of their time, and they still are. But they was, well, people have been buying them for the wrong reasons. This plane is not designed to do what this plane does. Now, let's say, for instance, you want to put a leading edge on a door, and that door is like 78 inches long. If you're talking about old money, yeah? Well, using a plane that's only like 10 inches long makes no logical sense. You should use a plane that is like 22 inches long, okay? It's all for courses. Now, it should really be a dead giveaway when they tell you it's a smoothing plane. It says it on the box. It's a number 4 smoothing plane, in this case, a 2-inch. Well, you sharpen these differently to you do the number 7. You see, the number 7, very rarely would I ever plane anything wider than the actual plane iron. Whereas with the smoothing plane, you would. Now, I have this little top here for which I'm going to be levelling off in a live stream later on today. But this plane requires a different sharpening method. Yes, you just create an edge on the edge, 28 degrees or whatever you want to do it, whatever suits you. Some number 4s will have a higher angle, a 50-degree angle to the frog, which is this bit, because it looks like a frog, you see. But we have to do something slightly different with the smoother than we do with the number 7. Now, some people do this on their bigger planes as well. I don't. I sharpen the plane irons on the number 7 perpendicular. What do I mean by that? Now, with this plane iron here, which I've already put my primary bevel on, as you can see, it's at the moment it's straight all the way along. And I use my little wedge honing guides, which happen to have magnets in it hold in place. Yeah, it works really, really well. I wish I did this years ago. I really do. Now, I know you do see a lot of really good woodworkers online doing it all by hand. Now, if you're like me, I've got carpal tunnel syndrome, and I can't necessarily guarantee that I'm going to maintain the angle. So for me, this was no-brainer. Yes, you can buy honing guides and stuff, but this little one allows you to still use the figure of 8 sharpening method, where you actually literally go across the stone like so. So you can use nearly all the stone. So that to me is a bonus. Now, which you can do obviously when you sharpen by hand as well without any honing guides. Now, if you're new to sharpening, I would suggest using honing guide. Now, what I'm going to suggest to you, not suggest to you, this is what you're supposed to do, is you sharpen this at a very, very slight radius. I mean, it's tiny, tiny, tiny. You can't really even see it. But the reason for that is, so when you take a shaving on a flat board, when you peel that shaving off, it's not the full width of the iron. No. Whereas with this one, the number 7, it would be the full width for the iron, because I've sharpened that perpendicular straight all the way along. Now, what we should do with the smoother is sharpen it by what we do normally, as you would do normally, but then apply a little bit more pressure on the stone on that corner, and then working my way onto the other corner. So you create a very, very slight radius. So when you're taking your shaving, you'll be taking a narrower shaving than the width, if it's the finest shaving that you can take, and not from full width. And that way, when you're trying to level a board, because you'll be using the smoother on a wide board, you won't be digging in the corners and causing furrows, which is very frustrating, because what you find you end up doing is you end up taking more material off than you need to, and you never really get to a smooth finish, and you end up resorting to, I'm going to say, a belt sander or something, or the scraper. Well, there's no need to, really, if you sharpen the plane iron with a very, very slight radius. I mean, and that's whisker. Yeah, literally when you put it on the stone, you put a little bit of pressure on that side, then a little bit of pressure on that side. And you can still do that when you're actually using a honing guide like this one. Yeah, it still allows you to do it, because the amount you're trying to do is enough to get onto the projection of the iron on the bottom of the actual honing guide. So anyway, I just thought I'd just share that with you because I'm just seeing it too often now where people are just doing perpendicular right across the plane line and then wondering why the corners are digging in and what do you do about that. In fact, I've been having some comments on some of my other videos. So that's what you need to do. And I'm going to make another video now on how to sharpen the Stanley Bailey number 4 hand plane easily without fuss of 100 different whetstones. Why do it need to be whetstones? I don't get it. Toodaloo. Oh, don't forget, click the like button and maybe subscribe to the channel. And maybe the little bell icon because then you get one basic thing in your pocket every time I upload another video. And if you want to support the channel, we do now have a Patreon, and now the links are down below. That they are. Toodaloo.